welcome to the deep dive.
Oh.
You've sent us some really fascinating material this time. It all seems to be pointing towards this huge shift in finance.
Yeah.
The rise of the AI bank of the future.
Yeah, it's a big theme.
And the core idea running through these sources, it seems, is that banks don't just need a tech upgrade. They need a fundamental, AI-first transformation to really compete, to
Yep.
thrive.
Absolutely. What's really striking in these documents is the urgency. It's not painted as some gradual evolution. It feels more like a necessary leap.
Right.
And for you, our listener, if you're looking to get a quick but solid grasp on this, well, our mission today is pretty clear.
Okay.
We're going to unpack the essential insights. How does a traditional bank actually make that leap? How do they become this AI bank of the future without getting totally bogged down in, like, the super technical details?
Okay, let's do it. So these sources seem to lay things out in, 4 key layers for this AI bank? Can you give us the quick rundown? What are we looking at?
Yeah, think of it like building a skyscraper, maybe. The first layer, that's engagement. That's how the bank connects with you, the customer.
Read the interface.
Kinda. Then next, you've got AI-powered decision-making. So intelligence baked into pretty much everything, loan approvals, personalized advice, you name it.
Makes sense.
The third layer is the core technology and data infrastructure. That's the foundation, right? The really strong base that has to support all this AI stuff.
Plumbing, basically.
You could say that. And then right at the top, the fourth layer is the platform-based operating model. This is about how the bank itself needs to be structured differently to actually make all this AI work effectively.
Got it. Okay, so let's start with the big one.
Yeah.
Why AI first now? Banks have used computers forever. What's so different about this particular moment? It can't just be the latest buzzword, surely.
No, not at all. The sources, they really point to a kind of perfect storm of factors. First off, your expectations as a customer, they've fundamentally changed.
How so?
Well, you're just used to these hyper-personalized, really seamless experiences from tech companies, right? Amazon, Netflix, whatever. And now you kind of expect that same level from your bank, too.
Okay, that makes sense. And knowing when it's clunky.
Exactly. Then you've got leading financial institutions already using advanced AI in some really powerful ways. Think instant loan approvals or incredibly sophisticated fraud detection. The bar's just been raised, like, significantly.
So the whole industry is kind of leveling up its game, and AI is the new standard.
Precisely. And it's not just your direct bank competitors either. The rise of digital ecosystems, that's another massive driver.
What do you mean by ecosystems?
Well, these big platforms are increasingly embedding financial services directly into what they offer. So imagine you're booking a trip, and right there in the same app, you get offered instant travel insurance, maybe a small loan for expenses.
Oh, okay, so it bypasses the bank.
It can, yeah. It disintermediates that traditional banking relationship. And let's not forget the tech giants, companies with huge customer reach, massive amounts of data. They're increasingly looking at the financial services space. It's pressure from multiple angles.
Right, everyone wants a piece of your financial life, it seems. So, okay, for the banks that actually get this right, what's the real payoff? Is it just about, keeping their head above water? Or is there a genuine upside?
Oh, the upside is potentially enormous. One of the sources, it throws out this, frankly, mind-boggling figure. AI could unlock something in the ballpark of $1 trillion of new value annually.
Great.
For banks across the industry.
Wait, $1 trillion? With a T.
Yeah. That's not just about, like, small incremental improvements. That signals a really fundamental shift in the potential here.
$1 trillion.
Yep.
That's definitely not chump change.
Yeah.
Where does that kind of value actually come from?
So the sources seem to point to 4 main areas. Firstly, much higher profits, driven by things like, ultra-personalized offerings and much leaner automated operations. Secondly, personalization, but on a scale and depth we've just never really seen before in banking. Thirdly, truly distinctive omni-channel experiences.
Omni-channel, meaning?
Meaning your interaction with the bank feels completely seamless and consistent, whether you're, say, on your phone, using their website, or even walking into a physical branch. It all feels like one bank.
Gotcha.
And finally, much, much faster cycles of innovation. So banks can roll out new services, adapt to what you need as a customer, just way quicker than before.
That all sounds pretty game-changing. The material also mentions something about a big jump in online and mobile banking use recently. How does that tie in?
Right. So the COVID-19 pandemic basically acted as this massive accelerant for the shift to digital. We saw, I think the numbers were a 20 to 50% increase in online and mobile banking usage in many places.
Wow.
And the expectation is, well, these higher levels of digital engagement, they're pretty much here to stay. So this just makes excelling in that digital space absolutely critical. And AI really is the engine that powers that excellence.
Okay, so we get the why. That's clear. Now let's try and paint a picture of this AI bank of the future. What would it actually feel like to interact with? Both as a customer and maybe from the inside too.
Okay, so for you, the customer, the AI bank is going to feel incredibly intelligent. It'll proactively suggest actions, maybe anticipate your needs, even before you've quite figured them out yourself. It'll automate a lot of the routine financial stuff.
Less drudgery.
Hopefully. It'll also be deeply personalized. Every interaction, every offer should feel relevant, timely, because it's based on this holistic understanding of your financial situation. And crucially, it'll be truly omni-channel.
You mentioned that, so no more repeating yourself.
Exactly. You know that frustration. Starting something on the app, then having to explain it all again when you call, that should disappear. It's meant to be a smooth, consistent experience across every single touch point.
Okay, so no more feeling like the bank's left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing.
That's the goal. Imagine, like, as a retail customer, you get a proactive alert suggesting the best way to consolidate some debt you have. Or maybe you get personalized investment advice that's actually tailored to your specific goal.
Right.
Or you just have a single unified view of all your financial accounts, even ones held at other institutions. The sources even talk about things like landing pages that dynamically change the offers based on your real-time browsing behavior. Pretty sophisticated.
That sounds almost like having a personal financial valet in your pocket or something.
Yeah.
What about for businesses, small businesses, say?
Yeah, for a small business owner, the AI bank could provide intelligent insights into their cash flow forecasting, maybe, automate invoicing and payments, or offer really tailored loan products based on their specific industry market trends.
So it understands their specific context better.
Exactly. One of the exhibits in the material, it actually lays out some good examples, though we don't need to dive into the exhibit specifics right now. The key takeaway is that AI understands the nuances of their business needs, not just generic business needs.
Okay, so intelligence and hyper-personalization for everyone. Got it. Now, let's look internally. How does AI change the bank's own operations? How it works day to day?
Internally, the AI bank is aiming for this mindset of zero ops.
Zero ops.
Yeah, basically through extreme automation of repetitive processes,
Mm-hmm.
AI will augment and in some cases probably replace human decision-making in areas like, say, fraud detection, compliance checks, even some IT operations. That leads to huge efficiency gains.
Right.
And like we touched on earlier, this whole AI-driven approach, it fosters the kind of speed and agility you normally associate with a tech startup, allows for rapid experimentation, quick deployment of new features.
It really does sound like a fundamental shift in how the whole organization functions. But I mean, given that traditional banks have such deep roots, these established systems, what are the biggest obstacles? What stops them just becoming this AI-first entity tomorrow? It can't be as simple as just installing some new software.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's where the real challenge lies, doesn't it? You've got to balance this need for speed and innovation, like a nimble fintech, with the scale, the security requirements, the heavy regulations of a long-established bank.
Tricky balance.
Very. The sources point to several key roadblocks. Often, the biggest hurdle is just the lack of a clear, overarching AI strategy, one that really permeates the entire organization.
Right.
Without that kind of North Star, individual AI projects can end up fragmented, maybe ineffective.
So it's not just about bolting on a few AI tools here and there.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be more integrated.
Precisely. Two other major stumbling blocks are, first, outdated core technology and data infrastructure, and second, these legacy operating models, coupled with, frankly, outdated talent strategies.
Okay, let's unpack those. The core tech.
Well, many banks are still running on core systems designed decades ago. They just weren't built for the kind of massive data processing and real-time analytics that advanced AI really demands.
So they're too slow, too inflexible.
Yeah, they tend to be inflexible, very difficult to update, and often they result in data being trapped in these silos across different departments.
Data silos, right? We hear that term a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Why are these such a big problem for an AI bank?
Because data is basically the lifeblood of AI. If your customer data, for instance, is locked away in separate systems, one for checking accounts, one for mortgages, another for credit cards, it's incredibly difficult for the AI algorithms to get that complete holistic view of you, the customer.
And without that view, the personalization suffers.
Exactly. You can't deliver those really intelligent, personalized experiences. The sources strongly emphasize this need for a centralized, accessible data backbone. Plus, to really scale AI effectively, you need a standardized set of tools and processes for building, testing, deploying, and then continuously monitoring all these AI models.
It sounds like building an AI bank requires not just new tech, but a completely new way of actually working.
That's it, exactly. Traditional operating models, hierarchical, where business units work in their own silos and maybe tech and analytics are seen as cost centers, that just stifles the kind of cross-functional collaboration and rapid experimentation that AI thrives on.
And the old ways of developing things are too slow.
Yeah, the old waterfall approach to software development, where you have these long sequential phases, it's just far too slow for the iterative nature of AI development. You need to be able to test, learn, adapt quickly. There's often a missing test and learn culture, which is absolutely crucial for refining AI models and figuring out what actually works for customers.
Okay, right. We've got a good handle on the why, but what it looks like and the major hurdles. Let's dive into those 4 layers you mentioned earlier, starting with the first one, reimagining customer engagement. How does this AI-first mindset change how a bank interacts with us?
Okay, so the fundamental shift in this engagement layer, it's moving away from just selling standardized products like a mortgage or a credit card and moving towards offering integrative solutions that address specific customer needs, what the sources call jobs to be done.
Jobs to be done. Like,
Well, think of a company like Tally. They help customers manage multiple credit cards more effectively. They're not just offering another financial product, they're solving a complex problem managing and optimizing debt.
okay. So it's about understanding the underlying need, not just pushing a particular service or product.
Precisely. And the second critical piece here is seamlessly embedding these customer journeys within broader partner ecosystems.
Meeting customers where they are.
Exactly. Instead of always trying to pull customers onto the bank's own app or website, AI banks need to be present where customers already spend their time. The example given was ICICI Bank in India integrating some core services into WhatsApp. They reached 1 million users in just 3 months doing that.
Wow, that's fast.
It shows the power, right? So banks need to think strategically. Do we build our own ecosystem? Do we orchestrate partnerships with others? Or do we just participate in existing ones? It's a strategic choice.
So it's about being integrated into the customer's life, not just being a separate destination they have to visit.
You've got it. And the third key element is using AI to get a much, much deeper understanding of individual customer context, their behavior, their needs, their preferences. This really granular understanding is what allows the bank to create truly intelligent and personalized offerings.
Okay.
So this reimagined engagement layer really rests on 3 pillars: intelligent propositions, solving real problems, seamless embedding within partner ecosystems, and smart service and experiences driven by deep customer understanding. We mentioned Tally for debt simplification. Another example might be something like Wealthfront, helping you plan for long-term financial goals.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's move up to that second layer, AI-powered decision-making. How does AI fundamentally change how banks, make decisions?
Yeah, this is where AI and machine learning can have a huge impact. They can dramatically enhance both the quality and the efficiency of decision-making right across the bank. Ultimately, that leads to better customer experiences and, for the bank, increased productivity.
And where does the value come from here?
The sources highlight 4 key ways this creates value. First, more effective customer acquisition, finding the right customers. Second, higher customer lifetime value, keeping them happy and engaged. Third, lower operating costs, largely through automation. And fourth, lower credit risk, thanks to more sophisticated analysis.
So it really touches everything, from getting new customers in the door to managing risk and keeping the ones you have happy.
Absolutely. Let's take lending as a prime example because it illustrates it well. In customer acquisition, AI enables hyper-personalized offers. It can even tailor the initial web page you see based on your digital footprint, what you've clicked on before. Yeah. Then in credit decisioning, AI can analyze a much wider range of data, including non-traditional sources, not just your credit score, to provide almost instantaneous loan qualifications. This could potentially help people who might have been overlooked by traditional methods, the unbanked or underbanked.
Faster approvals, wider reach.
Right. It also allows for automated credit limit assessments using things like OCR optical character recognition to verify income documents instantly, and dynamic pricing, where the interest rate might adjust based not just on risk, but maybe your likelihood to actually accept the offer.
Ah,
And of course, advanced AI-powered fraud detection. One source mentioned Ping An in China using micro-expression analysis during loan applications. That's a significant leap beyond traditional security checks.
that's a huge difference in speed and sophistication compared to, filling out paper forms and waiting weeks.
It really is. And AI continues to play a big role even after the loan is issued. In monitoring and collections, it allows for proactive engagement, identifying customers who might be heading towards financial difficulty and intervening early, maybe offering help.
So less reactive, more proactive.
Exactly. Banks can use AI to segment customers based on risk profiles and tailor their communication strategies. You don't treat everyone the same. Then, to deepen relationships, AI can spot opportunities for relevant cross-selling or upselling, identifying the next logical product for a customer.
Like suggesting a savings account if you have spare cash.
Kind of, yeah, but potentially much more personalized. It can also predict and help prevent customer churn and figure out who might be likely to leave and why. And personalize outreach based on understanding, like, what's the ideal number of products for this specific customer to have with us. And finally, in customer service itself, AI powers personalized experiences, provides AI-assisted support for human agents, giving them the information they need instantly, and can even use voice and speech analysis to match a customer with the best agent for their particular issue or even their mood.
It sounds incredibly data-intensive, very automated throughout the whole customer journey. But how do banks actually build all these sophisticated AI models and deploy them at scale? It's not like you can just buy, I don't know, AI for lending off the shelf.
Oh, you're right. It takes a very structured approach. The sources really emphasize this. It starts with carefully prioritizing which business problems you're going to tackle with AI first, where's the biggest impact. Then you absolutely need that robust, scalable data architecture we talked about.
Yeah, the foundation.
And then you need dedicated teams. Often they're described as these semi-autonomous labs for rapid experimentation, trying things out, and then factories for actually deploying and managing the successful AI solutions at an industrial level, making them repeatable and reliable.
Labs and factories.
And these teams, they need a really diverse mix of skills. You need product owners who deeply understand the business problem you're trying to solve, data engineers to build and manage the data pipelines, data scientists, obviously, to build the actual models, designers to make sure the output is usable and user-friendly, and ML engineers, machine learning engineers, to deploy and maintain these AI systems in production.
So it's almost like building an internal AI innovation engine within the bank.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. The sources also highlight what they call edge AI capabilities. These are things that can augment the core models and enhance customer interactions directly.
Edge capabilities, like what?
Think about conversational interfaces, chatbots, virtual assistants, natural language processing, or NLP, to understand written and spoken language, computer vision and OCR to automate things like filling out forms from scanned documents, even facial and sentiment analysis, perhaps to help frontline staff better understand a customer's reaction or mood during an interaction.
Okay, so using AI in lots of different ways at the point of interaction.
Exactly. These technologies can streamline processes, make things smoother, and provide richer insights. And then finally, you need the sophisticated, enterprise-wide digital marketing engine. Its job is to translate all those AI-driven insights into actual, meaningful customer communications.
How does that work?
It involves effective data management, tools for content creation and campaign execution, rigorous A/B testing to see what works, and detailed analytics on how different channels are performing. Often this uses agile methodologies too, with cross-functional teams working in quick sprints to test and iterate on messages rapidly. Commonwealth Bank of Australia was mentioned as an example of doing this kind of rapid message testing.
Okay, wow. We're getting a really clear picture of the customer-facing side and the decision-making engine. Now let's talk about what underpins all of this. Layer 3, the modernization of core technology and data infrastructure. What are the absolute non-negotiables here for an AI bank?
Yeah, this is utterly foundational. The sources hammer this point home. You need a scalable, resilient, and adaptable core technology infrastructure. It is the absolute bedrock upon which a successful AI bank is built.
And what does that actually involve?
They outline 6 critical demands, really. First, a robust technology strategy that's tightly fused with the business goals. Second, the capability to deliver those superior omnichannel journeys we talked about. Third, a modern, scalable platform specifically for data and analytics. Fourth, a scalable hybrid infrastructure using cloud effectively alongside potentially some on-premise systems. Fifth, highly configurable core product processing systems, the engines that handle accounts, loans, etc. And sixth, the comprehensive cybersecurity strategy, which is more critical than ever.
That sounds like a massive, massive undertaking for many traditional banks with older systems.
Oh, it often requires huge transformation. That tech strategy needs to be genuinely tech-forward. That means much tighter integration between tech teams and business units, more efficient governance, clearer ways to measure the ROI on tech spending.
Right.
Things like modern APIs, application programming interfaces, and streaming data architectures are vital. They allow different systems to talk to each other seamlessly in real time. Banks need to move away from those old monolithic legacy systems
Sorry, what?
towards more lightweight, highly configurable core processors, often built using a microservices architecture that gives you much greater agility, lets you make changes faster, and enables real-time processing.
And the data management side has to evolve dramatically too, right? We keep coming back to data.
Absolutely. Data needs to become highly liquid, is the term sometimes used, meaning it's easily accessible, understandable, and usable right across the organization. No more silos.
So breaking down those walls.
Exactly. Banks need to build scalable data science workbenches equipped with the latest AI and machine learning tools. They need to automate as much as possible the development and deployment of ML models, and provide self-service access to data for analysts and data scientists, but with strong governance and security controls wrapped around it.
Makes sense?
Embracing intelligent infrastructure, especially adopting public cloud for its scalability, cost-effectiveness, and automation capabilities, is also seen as crucial. And of course, woven through all of this has to be that robust cybersecurity and data governance strategy. It's paramount.
It really does sound like a monumental effort, but clearly essential if you want to support those AI ambitions. Okay, finally, let's talk about layer 4. How does a bank need to organize itself differently to make this AI-driven vision a reality, the platform operating model?
Right, because the sources are very clear. Technology alone, no matter how advanced, isn't enough.
Wow.
You need a fundamental shift in the operating model, how the bank organizes its people, its processes, its culture, to truly unlock the power of AI.
And the old model doesn't work.
The traditional, often product-centric model, it really struggles to keep pace. Customer interactions are becoming more frequent, more complex, siloed departments, slow decision-making, ineffective ways of prioritizing projects, increasingly complex IT architectures. These all become major bottlenecks in the old structure.
So the typical org chart just isn't fit for the AI age.
Pretty much, yeah. The platform operating model suggests organizing the bank differently into autonomous, cross-functional teams, often called platforms. These platforms are aligned around specific business capabilities, maybe enterprise functions or key enabling technologies.
Okay, autonomous teams.
Yeah. Each platform team gets a high degree of ownership over its own technology, its data, its budget, its talent, and it's responsible for delivering specific business outcomes related to its domain.
Can you give us a practical example? How might that look?
Sure. The sources use consumer lending as an example. So instead of having separate departments for, say, loan origination, then underwriting, then servicing, you might have several cross-functional teams within a single consumer lending platform.
Okay.
One team might focus entirely on pre-approval and customer acquisition for loans. Another might handle the core underwriting process. A third could focus on gathering consumer insights and tailoring the marketing messages. Maybe another on product customization.
And each team has all the skills it needs.
That's the idea. Each team would ideally include a mix of business experts, data scientists, software engineers, designers, all working collaboratively towards that shared goal of optimizing the consumer lending experience.
So it's really about breaking down those traditional silos and forcing much tighter collaboration between business and tech.
Exactly. The whole model rests on 3 core elements. First, a shared strategy and roadmap developed jointly by business and technology leaders. Second, an organizational structure with shared ownership, sometimes called two-in-a-box leadership, and persistent agile teams working from a common backlog. Third, a technology environment where each platform owns its specific tech domain, but interacts with other platforms through standardized interfaces, like APIs.
And how do you make that happen? What are the building blocks?
The sources outline 5 key building blocks. 1, adopting agile ways of working across the board, rapid decision cycles, iterative development. 2, enabling effective remote collaboration, which is obviously key now. 3, implementing a modern talent strategy focused on attracting, retaining, and reskilling people with digital and AI skills. 4, fostering a culture that values customer focus, collaboration, experimentation, and continuous learning. And 5, establishing clear architectural guardrails to ensure consistency and security across all these autonomous platforms.
How many platforms are we talking about in a typical large bank?
The estimate mentioned was anywhere from maybe 20 to 40 of these interconnected platforms in a large AI-driven bank.
Okay. And the big advantages of going through all this change, adopting this platform model.
The benefits are pretty significant. You get true co-ownership of business outcomes between the business side and the tech side. That leads to increased speed, better efficiency, higher overall productivity. It also fosters much greater transparency and accountability, better knowledge sharing across the organization. And ultimately, it creates a much more adaptable, future-proof business model that can respond way more quickly to changing market conditions and customer demands.
Wow. That is a really comprehensive look at what it takes to build this AI bank of the future. It really sounds like a truly transformative undertaking, touches every single part of the organization.
It absolutely is a fundamental shift. Becoming AI first demands deep, deep changes in strategy and technology, certainly in operations, and definitely in culture. It's not just about plugging in the latest AI tools. It's about completely reimagining how a bank operates and how it delivers value in this rapidly evolving landscape.
But the potential rewards, vastly improved experience for us as customers, significant gains in efficiency for the bank, potentially entirely new revenue streams.
Yeah.
It certainly makes it seem like a necessity now, doesn't it? Not just a strategic option.
Absolutely. I think for those banks that can successfully navigate this really complex transformation, the future holds immense potential. It's a huge challenge, but the prize is significant.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive.
Yeah.
Really fascinating. As we wrap up, it does make you think, doesn't it? What aspect of your own interactions with banks or financial institutions generally do you think will be most profoundly changed by this huge wave of AI? Or maybe stepping back, considering how finance touches everything, how might these AI-driven changes in banking ripple outwards? How might they influence other industries you're familiar with? Definitely some food for thought there. Thanks so much for guiding us through all that.
My pleasure. It's a truly fascinating and very rapidly unfolding story. Lots to keep watching.